You're back.
I'm back. Here we are.
Yeah, you're back. Welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you very much for having me again.
No. It's great to have you. So what have you been up to?
Yeah, it's been busy. It's been really busy, especially in the running world. I ran Boston Marathon, which was on the bucket list to do.
You mentioned that last time.
Yes,
yeah, it was on the bucket list.
So Boston Marathon, and then 6 days after was the London Marathon.
What? Hang on a minute. You did Boston and then London 6 days later?
And then London 6 days after, that's right.
Okay.
Which was...
Madman.
Absolutely crazy. Honestly, it was just one hell of a journey, Matt. Honestly, I absolutely loved it. Flying out to Boston, and the running culture there is massive. Running the course itself was so emotional as well, because it's such a prestigious event. So very, very grateful to be there.
And what was that? Because I remember when we spoke last time when you came on the podcast for the first time. Was that one of the ones on your bucket list of? You were saying, weren't you? You've got to do how many was
it? That's correct. That's correct. So it's one of the 6 major marathons in the world. So Boston is one of them. The others are Chicago, New York, Tokyo, London, and Berlin. So I've done 4.
Ooh.
I've got 2 more to go now. So I'm toying around whether to do Tokyo or New York. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh yeah.
But
this year, not this year.
Probably not this year.
Yeah.
Probably give myself a bit of a break, and then probably venture out and do more next year. But I was very, very happy just to kind of not be crippled by the end of it and just still be standing. And to run a marathon itself is a huge mammoth of a task. And I was very happy to do 2 in kind of 1 week. So very, very grateful for that.
And what was the reason you planned to do 2 in 1 week?
So it wasn't the plan originally. I mean, initially I was going to run with a good friend of mine who is visually impaired. I was meant to run with him at London Marathon, but sadly he had to pull out. But because I got my qualification for getting into Boston, because you can only get in through time qualify, so nobody can just enter in the lottery.
Into Boston?
No. You have to run a certain time to get in. So
it's like a proper runner's marathon.
Yeah. So how it works is it's good for age standards. So if you run a certain time within your age category, you automatically qualify for it. So and when I got accepted to get in, I was very grateful for it, and I thought I've got to do it. Irrespective of, obviously London's going to be 6 days after, but Boston was my.
But you've done London before.
I've done London before.
You've done London before. So what was your preferred one, or was?
This might be a bit controversial now, but let's say I would say probably Boston was really good. Honestly, the crowds were insane. It starts in a town called Hopkinton, and it's a point-to-point race, and it goes all the way down to downtown Boston.
Yeah, because it goes right into the downtown.
Into it, it does. And I'm not lying to you, but honestly, from mile 1 to mile 26, there's people all the way cheering you on. And
is that unusual?
It is unusual. Yeah. It is, yeah. I mean, London is just probably good as, but there are a few spots where it's a bit quiet, etc. Whereas Boston is people are just so noisy and just shouting your name, go on, keep going, when there's like another 15 miles left to go, So it was such one hell of an experience, honestly, to be able to relive all that again.
It is incredible though, like doing all that running. I mean, I've got a lot of admiration for people that do marathons. I'm sure there's a stat, and someone definitely fact check me on this, but I think it's only the top 1% of people in the world. Well, not top 1%. Only 1% of the entire population ever run a marathon.
That's correct. That's right. That is, yeah.
Is that right?
1% of the world's population have run a marathon. That's correct.
That's it.
Yeah.
So you're in the 1%.
I'm the 1% club.
Yeah, but you've probably in another club where they've done a marathon in 6 days. Crazy. Yeah. But that's just so good. It's such an achievement, though.
Thank you, man.
Do you feel proud within yourself as well? Like it's a good achievement.
Yeah, I do. I mean, any marathon that I run, I'm always very, very proud of that, because you just don't know where it would go. And the marathon is such a long way. There's so many variables and so many things can happen with cramping and nutrition and all sorts of stuff. So I was very, very happy to kind of finish in one piece. And Boston was really hot. It's you're training in the UK, in Leicester, in the UK, where the weather's not the greatest, and then come race day, it's like 20 odd degrees, so you're not kind of conditioned to that. So it was a very, very challenging day.
I bet. I mean, I bet if there's a lot of heat, there's a reason they do because they tend to not do marathons in the summer, do they? They tend to do them in the spring.
They do it in the spring. That's correct. That's right.
And that's why. So
yeah.
Oh yeah, I bet you it was a warm one. Then.
A really warm one. It really was. It was.
Nice. And in terms of, do you know when you're running, like, what do you think about?
That's a good question, actually.
Because
I get that a lot, man.
Yeah, it's a long time, isn't it?
It is a long time, and I get this asked a lot in terms of like, don't you get bored?
Yeah.
Like what are you doing for like 3 hours? What are you thinking about? And you're not going to believe this, man. Honestly, that's my time to meditate. I can literally start thinking straight and be like, okay, I need to do this with the kids. I need to do this with the wife. I need to start doing this next week. And it's really good way to kind of strategize in your head about what you got coming up, etc. And I kind of go into some sort of meditation almost, like I kind of just be tunnel visioned.
Really?
And just kind of just think about things I really need to think about that I've not been able to think about, especially in our working life, etc. when it's so busy, etc. So I find that headspace is key and vital for me to just be like, you know what, I can start mapping out stuff that I need to start thinking about. Oh, when's the next holiday that I can start go out with the family, etc. So for me, it's that is massive.
And is that with any sort of running, not just when you're doing a marathon? Do you use running in general as a way of giving yourself that headspace?
Yeah, exactly. I try not to listen to too much music and podcast kind of stuff, because it's especially on the music, because I end up, if I listen to something like Rocky or something, I might end up running too fast or something. it might give me a bit of a boost, which I don't need. So anything upbeat like that, I try to avoid. But just want to just get out there, enjoy it, and just kind of listen to your kind of you pounding the streets and the roads, and yeah.
I mean, fair play, like running a marathon with barely any music, like that's, I mean, I can't think of anything
It is hard,
worse.
man.
I can't think of anything worse,
really
but
is.
if it does help, so mentally, like mental health wise, because like the whole theme around mental health, I know this year is like moving. That's literally what you're doing then, And what if you don't run? Do you see a difference?
I see a difference massively.
Yeah.
Massively. I feel like I've got so low mood. My wife can tell that, okay, you need to go out today. I think you need to go out for a run.
Go for a run.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That will sort you out, And for me, it's become part of my life. I don't know where I'd be today without running. I'm a big advocate for running and mental health, especially. So when there's days where I can't go, it does really kind of has a knock-on effect on my well-being. So I try to go out as much as possible and try to get people around me out as well in the community.
And when you say you can't go and stuff, how often are you running a week? Like in a week, like what are you aiming for?
So I'm running around 6 times, about 50 miles a week. So I'll probably run more than I drive my car. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but so I tend to go about 6 times a week, religiously, just to keep it, even if I'm not marathon training, just to keep maintaining the fitness.
And the headspace.
I think that's more important for me, more than the physical aspect. I feel like running has given me so much headspace. It's improved my mental well-being massively. And, like I said before, I mean, I don't know where I'd be today without running, it just gives me that extra kind of headspace that I need.
No, I totally agree. I mean, I like to look after myself as well in terms of exercise and stuff like that as well, but I'm not a runner. I might do a half marathon, but let's see. But it's more like HIIT or high rock style or weights and stuff. But again, going into that zone, like when you're saying, I'll go into the zone and I'm just thinking about that, and then I'll go, right, I'm going to work on that. Right, I'm going to get around to this. This is my plan for. I can totally relate to that.
Definitely.
Or on the opposite, sometimes you might just want to shut the world down.
Exactly. There's so much noise going around us, isn't it? Constantly, 24 hours a day, and it's just so nice to just kind of get away from all of that. And the feeling of elation, especially, whatever activity, what people do, especially when I'm running marathons, finishing the crossing, when you cross the line, you'll be in complete in pain cave for a long time when running a marathon. Honestly, it's so hard. You'll be swearing at yourself like, why did I pay X amount of money to come here to just be in torture? Honestly, but finishing and crossing the line, getting your medal, getting that free banana that you get end of the race is always worth it. But the feeling of elation and the endorphins that you get from it is second to none. Honestly, I've never experienced anything like that from anywhere.
Yeah. Is it just total euphoria?
It's total euphoria, completely.
Because I do run every now and then, and there's what's the phrase? I can't think what it's called. It's like runners, like where you start, runners high. You just start smiling.
You just start smiling. Yeah,
and
exactly.
you're like, what?
Yeah, exactly. And you forget about the pain that you were in.
And then you go back to the pain.
And you go back to it. Oh, you know what? Let me sign up to another one tomorrow. Yeah, exactly. And it's a constant cycle, and it's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
I bet,
So I want to do more of that with more people in the organization, especially, and especially with mental health. It's a big topic, isn't it? About looking after yourself. So.
Yeah, 100%. Because, it's not just, I know a lot of people that go, I don't actually do it for the physical side. It is more the mental side and the mental well-being side. And what other things do you do at Next as well? Is there anything you do in particular, like from a mental well-being point of view? Because obviously you're still working in tech, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're still working in tech. But is there... You're part of the mental health first aiders as well, aren't you?
That's right.
So what's that at Next? Like, just describe that for me.
Yeah, so Next have a fantastic facility open to our colleagues if they're having a mental health issue. Whereby we've got people from head office, we've got people from retail, contact centers, etc., who are
right across the business,
who are designated people who are trained by Mental Health First England as a way of, if people want something they want to talk about, those colleagues are there for you. And we're by no means no professional counselors or anything like that. But we're here to lend an ear and have that conversation. I don't know about you, but sometimes we might not feel comfortable talking to our line managers, or might not feel talking to people in our team because we might not have that kind of relationship.
Yeah.
And talking to someone completely random might give you a different direction in things.
Different perspective.
Exactly. Yeah. So Next have a fantastic facility with that. We've got our pictures dotted around head office, so you can't miss us. And it's very, very important to you may not have the answers to everything, but it's important to be present there for somebody. And I think that is so powerful. That is, just to understand from if somebody's facing a mental health problem in their work life, or if it's a work-related issue or a personal issue, etc. Just to be there, the power of presence, I feel like that's so important. And, like I said, if you don't have the answers, then we can always signpost people to the right channels. There's lots of facilities available with the Viva app, etc., where it talks more about mental health, nutritional advice, access to GP. So Next have done a fantastic job there in terms of having mental health first aiders across the business, and you can talk to each one of them. You can contact them via email or chat.
Yeah, I think that's really good, because from what I'm hearing as well, and I've seen it around the campus as well. You are like, if people don't, some people might not want to just go on a site or something. They might want to talk to someone first, and get that advice. Yeah. It's an advisor role, isn't it?
Exactly.
It's not, like you've said there, you're not going to counsel.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So it's more about signposting people to the right channels.
Resource if they need it.
And resource if they need it. And just make sure you check in on them as well, just to make sure it's just not that, we've done our due diligence by talking to them, but follow it up and just to make sure, are they okay? Do you need any more support, or is there anything that we can do to help you even further? So it's nice to build that relationship and making sure that individual is feeling okay and they're getting the help that they need.
Yeah, and it's good as well that it's like it's a peer-to-peer kind of network, isn't it? Like there, you've got, I could come to you and go, oh look, can we just have a chat? This is bothering me.
Exactly.
It could be personal, work, whatever.
Exactly.
We're all human. Like we've all got loads of stuff going on.
Exactly.
It's good that that's probably a lot more accessible. Well, it's more accessible, and it's a lot more, for some people, it's probably easier than maybe going to like a professional. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some people, some people really thrive from getting that professional counselling. That's something that I'm an advocate for as well, and something I've definitely experienced in my life. And I would definitely say, like, if that's the route you want to go, then absolutely do it.
Yeah.
But I think it doesn't matter what route you go. Sometimes you just need to take that initial step.
Exactly.
And that's what you're doing. You're like that olive branch.
We're just that olive branch. Literally, we are. That's a good example there, Matt, because it's so important to have those conversations. You know, I mean, like coming from a South Asian community, it's a massive, massive taboo.
Oh, is it?
Till now, even now, till this day, you know, and I've seen it and I've witnessed it firsthand with my own family members, you know, in terms of like, whereby if you don't have those conversations, you know, things can get undiagnosed. And, you know, if you don't mind me sharing, you know,
no, go for it.
One of my family members was unable to kind of get the help that they needed because it was you know, it was a bit of a, oh, what would society think, or what would people think about it? And that's the kind of barriers that people face, and there shouldn't be any of those kind of barriers. You should be able to talk freely about those kind of things. So, you know, what I'm trying to say is like, if you kind of just internalize everything within yourself and not talk about it, it will just eat you up, you know, every single day. And it's important to kind of have those conversations with people.
And I think as well, when you talk as well, and then you get advice and you get support, you learn about yourself, and then you build up the resilience and the mechanics and the mechanisms for when, if other stuff comes along, you're a better place to deal that again. Because life's just going to keep chucking stuff at you again and again and again. It's not going to stop. It's not going to be really kind to you all the time. You'll have some fantastic moments, but there's going to be moments where it's going to feel really tough. And if you've not got that, you know, resilience or what's the word, kind of outlook or preparation to deal with it, you're going to need to go and get the support to help you with that. But then next time something else comes along or something similar, you're going to be in a way better place. But it's interesting you say there about the South Asian community. It's still a bit like,
it's still a bit of a taboo subject. You know that, Matt, honestly.
Just don't talk about it. Is it generally we're not going to talk about it?
It's generally like that, honestly, and it's pretty much like I'm sure there's many it's very taboo in different communities as well. But growing up as a child within the South Asian community, seeing it firsthand, it was almost like you can't talk about it. You know, it's too embarrassing, or people will associate it with something else. You know, they're afraid about what would society think. You know, losing your job, etc.
So it's all that perception of what other people think.
Exactly, it's about what other people think. And within South Asian communities, they never kind of prioritize themselves. They're always trying to prioritize, obviously, for their family and their children. They never look at themselves as a priority as well. So that always gets left behind. You know, so I mean, things are going in the right direction. We're obviously talking about a lot of mental health now lately, but there's still a taboo subject, you know that, Matt. And I think that needs to be spoken about more. More awareness needs to be done. More, even just education about it. You know, where to look. You know, how to get the resources. You know,
just kind of starting it with the basics. Almost.
You know, and going back to what I was saying about one of my family members. You know, they were undiagnosed for 20 years.
No way.
You know, for 20 years they had been undiagnosed. And had early intervention happened, you know, today would have been a complete different day, you know, and it's things like that we can prevent happening. So it's really, really important to kind of have those conversations. Yes, they're difficult. Yes, you know, you might feel like, I don't know if I can trust this person or not, but, you know, you can be the judgment of that, you know, but it's important to kind of have those conversations.
Yeah. How's that impacted you is that influenced you becoming a mental health first aider, and what other impacts it had? Yeah,
I mean that's kind of made me like want to join the mental health first aider team, you know. And when I spoke to Claire, who's one of our health and safety wellbeing officers, you know, I said to her straight away, I really want to do this because I'm really passionate about the subject, you know, and it's important that we speak about it more. But you know, growing up as a child and seeing it, you know, I was just kind of my hands were kind of tied and not understanding about the subject, you know, and not knowing where to go, who to speak to about it. It's only now when I see it, looking back at it, it's like, wow, I wish things had been done differently, and I wish we did this, I wish we did that, but unfortunately, the resources or the education piece wasn't there for us, unfortunately, and that really frustrates me. That does till today. I wish we can go back in time and change things.
Yeah, I mean, hindsight's a wonderful thing.
It is a wonderful thing.
It's such a wonderful thing. Yeah. And there's so many. And then that's another thing as well with, you know, something I know I do is like, I do overthink stuff. So I'll play over stuff again and again and again and again, or I'll think about it. Sometimes it's great because you look at the detail, but then you can look back too much, and if you look back too much, you're dwelling on it too much, and then you're forgetting about the future. So again, it's another part of it. I think a lot of times as well with like mental health, I always feel it's definitely shifted, but it always used to be like you used to think of someone in an asylum or
exactly
something.
In some sort of psychiatric unit, all kind of wrapped up in.
It's not that. I mean, did you see that? See that ad that Norwich Football Club
I did see
did?
that.
God, I cried. I genuinely cried. I was like,
I had to look at that a few times, just to be like, wow, that was very powerful. Very, very
powerful. And also from a bit like a group, a community, like if you've ever been to a football match, a men's football match especially, it is very kind of, there's a certain community there, or a certain kind of people that don't really share.
They don't.
And that just illustrated it well. And I'm kind of drawing similarities from what you're saying with the South Asian. It's almost like there needs to be something that just breaks down that barrier.
Exactly, Matt. And interestingly, going back to that advert, it's always the happy ones who are kind of suffering deep down inside, putting a face on, putting a brave face on, just making sure the other people around them are fine, and looking after those, individuals. It's always those ones who are kind of suffering deep down inside, and it's in terms of men talking openly in a public forum about their, if they've got mental health problems, etc. It's so hard, isn't it? It's so hard, the masculinity side of it, because men are seen to be big and strong, and all that what society sees them as. And it's important to kind of be like, men do suffer from mental health issues, and and there's lots of the suicide rates for men is very, very high.
It's really high.
So it's incredible. I was just reading a study not too long ago about how the NHS has spent about over 300 million in 2023 for antidepressants, for people.
Really?
And it's crazy. That's staggering amount of money.
When you could get, well, not saying that antidepressants are a bad thing, but you could get a similar sort of result or even better by doing some sort of movement.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
exactly
like and running. I think I say running because you're here.
Yeah.
But also it's very accessible, isn't it? You're not got to pay for a membership. Yeah, you got to pay for your trainers.
Yes.
But you can get trainers. You can start real cheap.
Yeah.
And it's not, I think you said last time, it's not always about running a marathon. You do stuff here as well. Is that right? You do stuff here as well?
Yes, right. Yeah. So we've got our own Couch to 5K club starting.
Love
so
it.
I hope to see you there, Matt. On the,
oh God, you've pigeonholed me into that now, haven't you? It's like I've got to go.
So we're starting that again on May the 20th, phase 1, 5 o'clock. We've got good numbers this year. Weather is probably because of the weather, I guess. People are want to.
Everyone's signing up.
Yeah, I want to run in this weather, which is nice. But so we're going to be doing that 9-week program, Couch to 5K, and at the end of the program, we'll end up doing a park run, like a celebration kind of run, followed by cakes and which is the most important bit.
But you got sweet tooth.
Exactly, got sweet tooth. I definitely have a sweet tooth. That's my nemesis, that is. And with medals, etc., to celebrate people's achievement. But we've had people who've never ran at Next, and they've come on to the program, and they've obviously gone on to do running now, and they've enjoyed it really, which is fantastic. That's what we want to see, is to people to move and incorporate it in their life,
Yeah, because that's the thing, isn't it? I think, some people could probably listen to you and be like, this guy running 2 marathons in a week, like, I'm never going to do anything, what's the point? But that's not the point. The point is just to move, like, and going from, you're doing that because you've built, when did that start? When did that start? How long you been running like that, like marathons and stuff?
7 years now.
7 years.
7 years.
Like a long time.
It takes a long time.
It takes a long time. But if you never ran, to run a 5K is an achievement.
It is an achievement.
It is massive an achievement.
Massive.
And even like, walk, even if you're not doing anything, just start walking stuff.
Yeah.
Walking's really, I do a lot of walking as well sometimes, especially when it's like nice in the summers and stuff.
Yeah.
Just go for a half an hour walk as well, because depends what you're trying to do as well. You start getting into it and you're like, oh, if I run, I burn more fat, or do I want to burn more muscle? And, you know, all of this as well. So, yeah, it is a big achievement. I think it's really good that we do that. And is that, how's that run and set up? Is that ran by...
So that's run by the sports and social committees. So we have lots of different various events, you know, with day trips, etc. And one of them is obviously running. I'm sure they've got the yoga class as well that they do.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
so
that's
they do
right.
That as well.
Yeah.
So we thought, let's kickstart the running again and see where that takes us. And hopefully we'll get good numbers to start off with, and people enjoy running, you know.
Yeah. And that's just done literally, ran all by employees volunteering.
That's it. It was all volunteers. Yeah, that is. I mean, last cohort that we had about 10 people actually, so that's nice. And then, that was good. That was and we want to push on that more. We want about movement, about exercising, about well-being. You know, there's so many things that you can do, like you said, about walking, hiking, anything that kind of moves. You know, you have movement in your body, because it is so important to kind of help the hormone levels, you know, within yourself, you know, to kind of feel good about yourself, especially hard days work. You know, you're stressed, you got anxiety from a certain project that you need to deliver, etc. You know, what better way to kind of de-stress by doing some sort of exercise, you know? And that's always been my kind of go-to, to kind of just go run a marathon or something, or go run, you know.
Do you run in the morning or evening? Like, when do you do
It's
that?
normally in the evening. Normally
after
in the
work,
evening.
then,
After work. That's usually my go-to time. And then Saturdays, I religiously go to parkrun.
Do you? You're still doing the 5K
Still
park
doing the
run?
5K park runs. I've just done my 250th park run.
No
which
way.
is taking me about 5 years to do. That's an amazing community. Honestly, I you know, it's so inclusive. You know, you see people from all walks of life and different shapes and sizes and colors and ethnicities. And people are there for one common goal: to get fit and be active, and you know, and you can go there for the social aspect.
It's a good way to get into running.
It's brilliant,
and I guess that's where you kind of got inspiration from.
And that's where I got inspiration from, to be
Yeah.
honest. And we have like from Leicester Victoria Park, we have like 500 people turn up, you know, which is fantastic. Honestly, you know, people young teenagers to like people in the elderly as well. You know, it's a really good broad range of people that come.
Oh, that's really good, that is.
So
you just love running.
I just love running. Honestly, I could be here talking all day about it. Exactly, Matt. Honestly, but I would love to run with you one day. Leicester half marathon. Let's do that.
Should we do that?
Let's do that.
Right, are we locking that in? Right
Let's
now?
lock that in. Let's lock that in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
We got what? What is it now? You got 4 months, 5 months?
I think it's October.
October. So
October.
You got no excuses, man.
What have I agreed to?
I promise you to breakfast after that.
Yeah, okay. No. That bit, I think, like for me, you see, half marathon is a big achievement. Like, I know that I'll be proud of myself for doing that. You'll be like, backwards running, like, come on, Matt, let's go. But no, I remember you said last time as well, you're good at pace setting and stuff as well. So I mean, I'd be more than up for that.
Perfect.
More than
good
up
stuff.
for that.
Let's get a team together. That'd be
great.
Yeah, good stuff.
Okay,
good stuff.
well, I think that's a very good place to end, Mubs. Like, I really, really appreciate you coming on again, coming back, telling us all about, you know, what you've been doing, and also, you know, sharing some stuff as well. I do really appreciate that, because I think, you know, like you say, it's going to mean a lot to some people that maybe are like, oh, okay, two blokes talking about, you know, moving for mental health. I can do the same. But thanks for coming on.
Thanks again for having me, Matt.
No worries.